the one, the only, Ben Sion.
Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Just After today we're doing Masech Sota Daf Chavav number 26. Great share for you today as usual. Let's start from the bottom of Chav Hamad Beis. The last three lines. Mesiveh. We talked about yesterday an opinion that the wife of an islandess, not a wife of an island, a woman who's an islandess. The Parsha Sota doesn't apply to her. An islandess is a woman who hasn't developed full female bodily characteristics. So it says, "V'nikisa v'nizra zera," someone who's able to have children. She's not able to have children, so therefore she's excluded from the entire parsha. So Hamakana la rusaso of a brisa, which seems to contradict us. Hamakana la rusaso. It's a long brisa. We'll see from the end where the question is. He warns his arusa, ulushimeres yavam, or a woman who's waiting to do yibum with shalo. Imachalon kinsa nistera. He warns her before he actually marries her or does yibum. She is secluded. Lo shosa lo notelas kezubasa. This is basically what we said, right at the beginning of the parak. The parsha doesn't apply to them. She doesn't drink the water, and she doesn't get her ksuba. Top of chavav and aleph. Muberes chaveiro minekas chaveiro lo shosa lo notelas kezubah. Like we said in the Mishnah. Divrei Meir. Meir says a woman who was impregnated or she's nursing a child from a different marriage, and then you marry her. Right, you're not supposed to marry her until 24 months. It's usher to marry her, so you're not really supposed to be married her. Again, she also doesn't show us when it's Suva the Remeir Shaya, Remeir Omer, Lo Yisa Muberes Chaver, Remeir Regeg Zera. You're not supposed to marry someone who is impregnated by someone else or is within the 24 months of nursing so their child from somebody else. Nisa Yotzi, Remeir holds it's usher with Rabbanan. If you get married, you have to get rid of her. Well, Yachzir Alamis, you can't marry her forever. Yotzi, they do agree that while you're married, you have to get rid of her. However, after 24 months passes, you could remarry her. And therefore, since you could remarry her, this is what the article says, since you could remarry her after 24 months, even now, when you're married to her legally before 12 months, before 24 months, the Parsha of Sota would apply. It would apply technically. The harova shenasa akara v'skena ve'ein lo isha banim mikara lo shosa v'telas ksuba. A rova is a man who never was married before. He married a woman who's menopause. Sometimes you see this: men marry women. It's hard for them to get married. They marry a woman who's older, much older. Menopause is akara is someone who's sterile. She can't have children. She had an operation. She can't have children. Skena is someone who passed menopause. Ve'ein lo isha banim. And he was never married. He doesn't have children. He wasn't Mekayim Mitzvah Puravu. Mikara lo shosa ksuba. The Parsha doesn't apply to that lady also because he's not allowed to be married to Rabbanan. You have to marry a woman who's capable of letting you father children. Mekayim Mitzvah Puravu. Those are all married. Those are argues and says Yakol Lisa Acheres. It's no isser to marry her because technically I can marry a second wife and through her I can have children. So therefore the Parsha that would apply to the first wife. He warns an arusa or shmeres yavam. He hasn't married her fully yet, and after he warns her, and then he marries her, and then after he marries her, she's secluded. Oh, shosa olotelas ksuva. So then the parsha does apply. She has to drink the water to prove her innocence. Or if you're married to a woman who you impregnated, or she is nursing, right? This is talking about even if you divorce her and then you remarry her, right? Nonetheless, it applies to you because no isser to be married to her, so therefore she has to drink the mesota. If you warned her, also, if you're according to everybody, if you were never married yet, but you marry a woman who is incapable of having children, however, you were previously married, you had Rovas had never married before, but you have a different wife. See, Rova is a young man. He had a different wife, and he had children from them, a boy and a girl. Oh, show sell and it does ksuba. Either you drink, you don't get the ksuba. Ishas mamzer, la mamzer. The Brisa continues. A mamzer is married to a mamzeres, which is nothing wrong with it. A mamzer is only allowed mamzeres. We'll see why the Brisa includes this. Ishas nesin la nesin. Again, a nesin, someone who is one of the converts from the Zion Amim, the original 7 nations which inhabited Eretz Canaan. He marries a girl who's in a Sina. The Eishas Gerb Evan Meshukar of islandness, Also, a ger marries a woman. He's allowed to marry. An eved marries a woman. Eved who is freed, right? So he is Jewish. The islandess or a woman who's an islandess. Oh, all these people, they're supposed to drink the water to prove their innocence. If they don't get a ksuba. Kasani Mia islandess. Tiyufti the Rav Nachman. One of the last cases included is an islandess. You see, an islandess does drink the mesota. It's a question of Rav Nachman, who said yes, an islandess not. I'm Rav Nachman. Tanahi. It's actually the Machalos Tanoim. There's different opinions on Tanoim. I have a different Tana, which I accord with the Sanya. The Bryce says, Rishim Elazar Omer, islandess Lashota will tell it's ksuba. An islandess doesn't drink and she doesn't get a ksuba. Shnemar, Vinikisa in Israel Zera, Misha Darchal Hazria, Yasa Zu, Shane Darchal Hazria. It has to be a woman who normally can have children. She can't have children. So how you hold like Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. Rabbanon argue on the previous Bryce. Hi Vinikisa in Israel Zera, my obviously. What did he do with the pasuk? Right? If she's proven innocent, according to the Rabbi Kiva says the point of the pasuk is to tell me that if she was suspicion, she might have been with another man, she's secluded with another man after a warning, and she was proven innocent, she drinks the water and she's proven innocent, then she'll have children. If she was an akara, she couldn't have children, she'll have children. That's what it means. Amar lo Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel says to Rabbi Kiva, Imken Yisru kol akara, Ziv can do. Any woman, you don't need Bonei Olam anymore. You don't need IVF. You can just go and seclude yourself. You'd be secluded with a man in order to have children. Obviously, not do anything. You'd be innocent. You have children. V'yif could do. V'zu ho'el in Israel hifsita. And a woman who does not seclude herself, which is pretty immoral activity, right? It's definitely not uveras al das. We'll talk about that more in English Ben Sion. She acts promiscuously. Nonetheless, she loses out by not secluding herself. According to Rishma, what do you do with the pasuk? It means that if she had children previously, it was hard for her to have children. It was painful to give birth. Now she takes an epidural. It's easier. If she had girls, now she's going to have boys. She had short kids, now she'll have long kids. She has dark-skinned kids, now she'll have kids with lighter skin. Ashes Mamzer, Lamamzer. Ashes Mamzer, Lamamzer. The wife, included in the Brisa before, we said that one of the cases where Sota applies, a Mamzer is married to Mamzeris. Pshita, obviously. They're allowed to be married. We might think that if they're secluded, we should try to end their marriage. We don't want the mamzer married to mamzeris. Their children are mamzerim. We don't want more mamzerim. No, it's fair. They're allowed to be married, so we don't end it. Eishes get rid of the shukra of islandess. All of those cases, a sota doesn't apply. Pshita. Why not? The question is on gerim. Why not gerim? A ger marries Bas Yisrael, or he marries a gioris. Right, we hold kal gerim lo ikri kal, like Rabbi Yossi. So really, they're not allowed to marry. They have to marry a gioris in most cases. So maybe in the case of two gerims that are married together, the parshas that wouldn't apply. It says bnei Yisrael lo gerim. Kamash malat. Tell you no. It says bnei Yisrael. Bnei Yisrael, their genealogy was all Jews going back. They're converts. V'amarta ribuya. It says v'amarta aleim. So marta is an extra word to include Gerim. They're also included in the Parshas. The Ashes Cohen shows that. Back to our Mishnah. The Mishnah says in Ashes Cohen, the wife of Cohen, she shows that she drinks the Mesota, Pshita. Why not? Of course. The beginning of the Parshas Sota, it says the classical case of Sota was she wasn't taken forcibly. She wasn't raped. Ha-nitbasa mutaris. The Gemara learns other halachas that if she's forced, right, she's mutaris. Right? A woman who is forced. She's mutaris to her husband. The Gemara infers in Maseches Ksubos, and Ashes Cohen is not like that. It says only the one woman, or Ashes Yisrael, if she's raped, she's mutaris to her husband. But Ashes Cohen, who's raped, is asur to her husband. Ashes Cohen, she's asur to her husband forcibly. So therefore, since this pasuk is included in the parsha, you might think an Ashes Cohen is excluded from the entire parsha of Sota. Kamashma, no, it's included. Mutaris Labaila, it only comes to tell me that if she's raped, she's asura. But if she is secluded with a man, we don't know what happened. The parsha of Sota applies to her. Mutaris Labaila, and Ashes Cohen, she's much to her husband. Pshita, why not? Amar Rav Huna misnavna. We're talking about a case where after drinking the water, she slowly deteriorates. Her bodily condition deteriorates. Misnavna habat kuamaya. The Gemara says if her body slowly deteriorates, right, it shows that she's guilty. The Gemara says she deteriorates, but through other limbs besides her belly and her thigh. Mao the same has nuye zana. You might think that she committed adultery, but maybe the reason her body does not deteriorate like that is get out of here. Is because she did it ba'ones. She was raped, right? And he's just going to usher she raped. L'gabe kohen asira and she's usher to kohen. Kamash malan therefore comes to teach you that please don't do this. You're ruining my shear. Get out of here. Get out of here. My daughter's destroying me over here. Close the door, please. Therefore, you might think it was just an onus, and that's why she's getting a slow but steady punishment. No, the reason she deteriorates could be for some other reason. It's not because she was guilty, or even it was done by onus. Aisha Sris Shosa. The Mishnah says the wife of a Sris. A Sris is a man who is emasculated. He can't have children. She does drink pshita. Why not? The Pasuk says that she is together with a man who's not her husband. She doesn't really have a husband, a fully capable husband. He can't have children. Kamashma, no, still she does. She's included in the Parsha Sota. They call arayas mekanim. For all the arayas, right? If she's potentially together, right? The husband warned her they're going to be together with an erva, right? With your father or anyone else she's forbidden to be with. You can warn her, pshita, why not? Right? So the Gemara says, the top of Chavav Beit is Mao the same, it says she's going to send me twice in the Parsha. So, Echad L'Baal, Echad L'Bo, and we learn from that. We're going to learn later on in the Masechta. Tell you that if she's usher for two people, so to the usher, before she drinks the water, to the husband, and to the adulterer, right? So they're connected. It can only be in the case where it has to be that she's now a new thing. She's an usher to the husband and to the adulterer. Well, the adulterer is already forbidden. It was her father, for example. She's already forbidden, so therefore the whole concept doesn't apply. Kamashma, no, it does apply. Chutzmin akatan ve'enoish, except for akatan ve'enoish, those people, the warning is not effective. The Parsha still doesn't apply. Isha marachman avulokatan. The Gemara explains. It says in the Torah, Ish, a man, someone who's not bar mitzvah, it doesn't apply. V'she'enoish, someone who's not a man. What does that mean? Lamute, what does it come to exclude? It's coming to tell me someone is impotent, meaning he can't keep an erection up and he can't ejaculate. Shmuel says we actually do. He is including the parts that you could warn against him. And he also, if he's together with a woman during that short erection, he is apostle b'truma. He makes his wife, if she's a bas kohen or she was eligible to eat truma, she can't eat truma anymore. Mekan al yado. So the Gemara first analyzes Shmuel's statement, pshita. Well, why? Of course, he should ask her. It's considered a bia, at least for the short time that he had the erection. The same v'shachab isha sa shechva zera amarachman. In the parsha it says you need shechva zera, right, to release zera. That doesn't happen by an impotent man. Amarachman halav or hachi. We can't do that. Kamashma. Nonetheless, shechva zera is not daf. We'll see in the Gemara later on what shechva zera is coming to teach me, if not this. So posel b'truma. Shmuel said also, being an impotent man exempts someone, meaning she's not allowed to eat truma anymore. Pshita. Ma'od the same lo yichal zara amarachmana. They say zara lechala, they say zara lo lechala. Pasuk says lo yichal zara, a bas kohen, a daughter of a kohen, she's together with a man who would passel her, for example, a non-Jew or an eved or a mamzer and a sin. Right? It says chil zara. The word zara is seed. Only someone who's capable of having seed, but he doesn't have capable of having seed. He can't make her a halala. He can't passel her from being a bas kohen, from getting truma. Kamashlan, he can. So therefore, the Gemara gets back to the discussion. What is ein ish? Comes to exclude ovei kochavim. Ovei kochavim is not considered an ish. He's not considered an ish for Parsha Sota. The Gemara says, "Amar Rav Hamnuna ovei kochavim mekanan al yad." Rav Hamnuna said elsewhere, ovei kochavim, we do warn against him. He is included in the Parsha Sota, opposed to betruma. So again, the Gemara stops for a second to analyze the statement of Rav Hamnuna. Mekanan al yad pshita. Right? Why not? Ma'od the same nitma shtei pam. Again, it says nitma twice. Echad l'baal ve'echad l'boal. She's usher to the husband and to the boa. Heichad the kamitzra b'haznus. Aval ha hol v'asura v'kaima. She's not allowed to marry a woman. A Jewish woman is not allowed to marry a non-Jewish man. Essentially, it's only the rabbanim, but still, it's not right. It's not allowed. Emo lo. So therefore, the whole parsha shouldn't apply. Kamash malan. No, it does apply. Opposed to truma. How do you know being with a non-Jewish man exempt? She's not allowed to have a truma anymore. Pshita. It's obvious. We learn in the Torah, right? Ma'od Sema Ubas Kohen Kisiel Ishjar Amarachmana Debar Havaya in the Lat Bar Havaya Lo. The pasuk which says that a woman, the daughter of a Kohen, she's together with a strange man, she can't eat truma anymore. It's mechalel, or she loses her family status as a kahuna. Someone who's havaya, that there's kedushin, the kedushin toastin, the kedushin works. If she wanted to marry that guy or to be engaged to that guy, it would work. But a goy, there's no havaya. The Gemara in Gittin says she can't be married to a guy or an eved. Lokamash malan, the postil, unless it's postil. Mid Rabbi Yochanan, how do you know it's postil? From Yochanan, Steve. Now Rabbi Yochanan, Mishum Mishmal, Minay Loved Chav Eved Shabo Al Kohen Ezra Levia Abasis Rashab Paslua. If they're together, an Eved Knaini, or an Oved Kochavim, they're together with a girl. Whether she's a Bas Kohen, Levia Bas Yisrael, Shvaslu, they passel her, meaning Bas Kohen, she gets passel, but she's eating from her father, she can no longer eat. So Bas Levia Yisrael, if she would marry a Kohen, nonetheless, she would not be able to eat on account of her husband, because she had the bia with the Eved or the Oved Kochavim. Shenemar Bas Kohen Kisial, man of a Grusha. Right, the pasuk is talking about that if a man has a daughter, a Kohen has a daughter, and she marries a man, and they don't have any children, and she gets divorced or widowed, she goes back to her father's house and he's truma. But it's only talking about a person that if she's married to them, right, she's a widow or divorced. Right, they can't be married to her. An Eved Kochavim, a non-Jew, or an Eved Knaini that's together with her. They can't have kedushin. They're not bar havaya, so therefore they were never married. So there's no almanas v'gerushin. So therefore she's excluded from eating truma if she's together with them. The ella lemutei. So what is it coming? Eno ish from the Mishnah. What is it coming to exclude? Amar of Papa lemutei behema. If she's together with a man, he can't warn her against being together with an animal, not a man, an animal. To be sodomy, to be together with an animal, that. The parsha still doesn't apply. There's no. It's not called cheating on your husband if you're together with an animal. Amar le Ravan Parzikal Ravashi Minam Milsad Amar Rabban Einzos Behema. Where do we know this? The Rabbanan say there's no such thing as cheating on your husband, promiscuity, being together with an animal. It says in the pasuk, right, when offering karbanos, if you pay an animal to a prostitute to be together with her, mecher kelev, you exchange an animal for a dog, those you can't give in the Beis Hamikdash. Rasanya is a korban. Rasanya estan kelev mecher zona mutarn. If it's the opposite, for example, you gave a sheep to a woman for the woman not to be together with you, to be together with an animal, to be together with a dog, right? And you gave her a sheep on account you wanted to see that. Mecher zona. Oh, let me close the door for a second. Well, Mechir Zona basically means you pay the price for a Mechir Zona. You exchange a Zona, a prostitute, for an animal. I don't know, it's that human trafficking. Mutar, and those animals are much of the base of Megillah. Shneimar Gam Shnehem. It says Shnehem. Shnayim below Arba. Only, it's exactly Estan Kelev, Estan Zona, Mechir Kelev. The opposite, no. So therefore, right, where the case where the woman is together with a dog, that's sodomy, but that's not called znus, right? Estan Kelev is not considered znus. You see, there's no znus for behema, being together with an animal or a dog. Ve'ela shichva zera lamali. Pasuk says shichva zera. Go back to the beginning. The Torah says shichva zera in the parsha of Sota. We said before, an impotent man is included in the parsha of Sota. He's together if he warns his wife. So why say Shivla Zera? Shivla Zera prat l'davar acher. The Brayso says Shivla Zera comes to include something else. My davar acher. What's that other thing? Amar Rashesh is prat l'shekina la shelo kedarka. If he warns his wife, don't be together with a man, right, in an abnormal way, to be together from behind, right? Shelo kedarka. That's what he warns his wife. Amar le Rava shelo kedarka. Mishkevei Isha Ksiv. What do you mean? Shlo Kedarka is considered a bia. We have in the Torah, it says Vayikra, it says Mishkevei Isha, when it talks about warning against being together with a woman. Arayas are forbidden not just in the natural way, but also in the unnatural way. If he's together from behind, right, that's also Aser. Ella, that's considered Arayas, so why not? Ella Amarava, Pralish Kila Derech Evar. He warned her not to have foreplay with this man. And she violates that. That's not considered in the Parsha. So, Amalei Abaye, Pritusa ba'alma here, Pritusa miyasa rachmana. What's the havamina that should be included? Why is that a chiddush? Shechvat zera to exclude that, right? It's just pritzos. It's just promiscuity. It's not something which is significant. I'm sorry about the background noise. It's not easy to get. My family is here in America with me. They're making a lot of noise and they're destroying my shir. Sivia, please be quiet. Pritzusa ba'almi, Pritzusa mika asar rachmana. Pritzusa, did the Torah forbid? I'm sorry, I really apologize. So Sivia, Pritzusa ba'almi. So the Gemara says, El Amar Abaye says, Prala Shekinah b'neshika. He warned her against neshika. Neshika is the initial state of being together, where his aver, his genitals, touch her genitals, but does not enter at all. So that is not included. That's not shik. That's not considered a bia. What is considered the beginning of bia? Tchilas bia. So as Machlokas, one opinion says it's putting in the top of the penis, the aver, into the vagina. That's considered a bia. Aval neshika of a low klumi. Neshika, just touching on the outside, is not nothing. That makes sense. The Torah is coming to exclude. It's not considered a bia. According to the other opinion, the hara is considered just touching on the outside. That's considered a bia already. So of course that's included in the part of the Ma'ikal and Meimar. Really, Sheikh Lazera comes to exclude a case where he warns against foreplay, and she violates that. You might thought the parsha of Sota is dependent on the husband. The husband's not happy; he doesn't want his wife to engage in foreplay with another man, whether they're together fully or not. Usually, a husband he's not happy with that. Kamashma, nonetheless, it has to be Sheikh Lazera. It has to be able to be impregnate her, or at least be a bia, and this is not a bia at all, and therefore it's not included in the parsha of Sota. Stay tuned for Yud Ben Sion, where we discuss more this part of the Gemara. Kpeda the Baal Tala Rahman. There's Kinoi and Stira, two different parts over here. I'll talk more about this. Why not? The Baal's makbid on it. Why shouldn't it be considered cheating? If he deems it cheating, why is it not called deemed cheating according to the Torah? We'll elaborate on what I talked about yesterday. The two different isur, two different parts. The Me'ilah against the husband, and the Me'ilah, the rebellion against Hashem in the Sota. We'll talk about that even with Ben Sion coming up next.